Recording. Alright, I am Cadet Captain Jessica Holmes, and today I am interviewing Captain Jake Carlson, about the John F. Kennedy assassination, which occurred on November 23rd, 1963. And Miss Carlson, what age were you when JFK was assassinated?
I would have been 18.
18? Okay. What was your current occupation at the time?
I was a college student. I was a freshman in college.
Okay, college freshman. What were you going to college for? What was your pursuit, your future?
Well, I wasn't sure what I wanted to be. I started out, at that point I would have been in elementary education, and
Okay.
I ended up in business administration.
Okay. Do you recall what happened, what you were doing?
Yes, I sure do. I had just walked into American literature class, and we were waiting for the professor to come in, and shortly after the start of class, the professor walked in and he said, "The president has been shot," and he turned around and walked out. And so we just sat there for a few minutes trying to absorb what had happened, and then we all just left the class.
Okay. What did you think about JFK's assassination after it happened? What kind of reflection did you think it had on our country as a whole?
Well, it would be interesting to know how different things would be had he been allowed to continue in the presidency. You know, it's hard to say when you don't know what would have happened. It's, you know, the two roads, and we took this road. Who knows what would have happened down that road?
Mm-hmm.
But I know right after it happened, everything was just, you couldn't absorb it
Yeah.
right at the time.
There was a conspiracy about the convicted Lee Harvey Oswald that he couldn't have been a lone assassin. Do you believe this? Do you believe it was him that did it?
After hearing all the evidence, and I've watched several documentaries and the movies, I do have a hard time believing that he would have been alone in it.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's anything that will ever be solved, but at the time, yeah, I believed it.
Okay.
Right after it happened, I believed that he was a lone assassin. But the more information that came out, I guess I at this point don't believe that he was the lone assassin.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe with what the Warren Commission, they published? They say, this is what happened. 3 shots were fired, and it only could have been from Lee Harvey Oswald. Do you believe that anybody was firing from the grassy knoll or anywhere else?
Well, when they explained the trajectory of the bullets, again, I have a hard time believing that it was coming from one location.
Okay. I actually have a diagram here, and there is a setup, and it's supposed to be a diagram of of what happened the day in Dallas. And it shows here, this is Houston Street and Elm Street and how they go down, and this is where President Kennedy's car was at the motorcade when he was shot. Now, this is the total book depository building where supposedly Oswald shot him from this direction.
Mm-hmm.
And coming from the shot where the grassy knoll was from this direction, that would have been the only possible solution of how much brain was shot off when Kennedy was hit the second time. Do you think there was more than just one shot fired, or
From one location, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. And the conspiracy theory has been proven and disproven, and I guess it's kind of, I know there are a lot of people that believe that it was a single location. I think it was up in here.
Yep. 6-4.
I've actually been to this location, and I'm surprised at how small it is.
Yes.
The grassy knoll and everything.
It's very small.
It's very small. So it's just my personal belief that he was not alone and that there were shots fired from more than one location.
Okay. All right. Have you seen the movie that about JFK that was made by Oliver Stone?
Was that the one Kevin Costner was in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. What's your opinion on the historical accuracy of this movie?
I think like all movies, they took a little poetic license with it,
Okay.
but I think it's probably one of the things that made me believe that, yeah, there was a conspiracy and that there was more than one shooter.
Okay. Do you believe that there's any connection from the death of JFK and then the death of his brother Robert?
I guess I hadn't really thought of that, especially lately. I don't know. I guess I don't know how to answer that. I'd have to think a little bit more on that before I could give a definitive answer on that.
What is your opinion? There was a bunch of unnatural deaths that occurred to the witnesses that could have testified to JFK's assassination, and later on throughout as time passed by they died from unusual car accidents, house fires, and etc.
It does kind of help feed the conspiracy theory, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
But people die in strange ways every day, and maybe it's our human tendency to say, it was a car accident. Did somebody cause this car accident? That's the thing with this theory. How many years ago is this that he was shot? And there's still conspiracy theories and anti-conspiracy theories flying around. Oh.
Okay. And then my last question is, did you believe that President Lyndon Johnson was involved in Kennedy's death whatsoever?
No.
All right.
No, that I can't believe.
All right. Well, this is the end of our interview, and I hope that all of you enjoy it.